Hi, I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater. We have a special treat for you today. We're sitting down with Dave Smith, the founder of Sequential, and Tim Carroll, CEO of Focusrite. They made a big announcement recently. We want to find out all about it. It's great to have you guys here.
Great to be here.
Yeah, thank you,
How you doing, Mitch?
I'm doing great, thank you. I wish we could all be in person, but of course we're spread out across the globe, as it were.
We are. We're pretty much representing just about every point on the planet, I think, right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. So let's get right to it. The big announcement is that Focusrite acquired Sequential, and I think everyone went, "Wow, what's the story here?" Can you give us a little bit of the background of what happened here and what we're talking about?
Yeah, sure. Dave, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah. I'm getting to the point where I just realized I would like to have somebody else take over the company for the future, so that it's not just about me forever and ever. So I started looking around last year and talked to a handful of companies. And at one point, I'm not even sure how we initially got the contact with Focusrite, but once we started talking with everybody there, we sort of realized, wow, this is I like these people. These people are easy to work with. They're easy to talk to. They're fun to talk to. And this is all over Zoom, as you all know, and which is, a horrible way to do a business transaction. And yet we made it work. It was a great experience. And I knew, within a few weeks of talking to these guys that, this is a good home for Sequential going forward. It was just, I think it's about a perfect a match as I could have imagined. So that's kind of the nuts and bolts, we can get into a little bit more, but that's kind of how I saw it from my side. It was nice that we had a choice of a few different people to work with, but Focusrite makes so much sense for us on so many levels.
Right.
We had a mutual acquaintance, I think, that connected us. And I got the call out of the blue, and when they said Sequential, my ears perked up. For I think two main reasons. I guess if I'm being really honest, probably the first one is that way before I worked for Focusrite and Avid, I was a touring musician for many years as a keyboard player, and I had a lot of Dave's kit. I had a Pro 1 and a Prophet 5 and then a Prophet 2002, and so there was a bit of a fanboy moment there for me, to be honest with you. But I when I kind of just got over that part, it was, wow, just knowing the legacy and the history and knowing what the current portfolio was, it was like, this is such a great match, because we, what we do with Novation is really, it's very much in the electronic music space, but it's in a very different part of the market. And it just seemed like this would really be a great portfolio for us to have together.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
You mentioned Novation, and of course Focusrite also has acquired other companies as well. And one of the things that I've always been happy to see is how, for lack of a better way to say it, how hands off Focusrite is as far as that.
Oh, you can just say it, Mitch. We go by the mantra: if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Uh-huh.
So when we Focusrite hadn't really acquired anything before I came on board. And I was very anxious to look to grow the business that way. But one of the things I think we realized was that we were so busy internally with all the things that we wanted to do. We needed to be a bit picky. And so we kind of set a checklist. I think the first one was it has to, culturally fit the people and what they do. And then obviously the products need to make sense. We are in the audio business. And then the other one was we wanted something that was well run. To be quite blunt with you, we don't think we had the time or probably the experience to come in and clean up a mess. And so Adam and Martin and Sequential all really checked those boxes. And as Dave said, I think the really interesting thing that I'll always remember about this deal is that 99% of it was done virtually. I mean, there was no way to travel. And which was really interesting. But I think it was just so obvious when we got the teams together after the initial calls and the feedback, from the R&D teams and from the logistics team and the sales team and everything, it was just really clear that, we were very like-minded folks.
Right. And you have to be able to work together in order to work together, which sounds stupid,
Oh,
but
absolutely.
kind of makes sense.
I'll be honest
it.
with you. There was a number of things that we looked at acquiring where we thought the portfolio was great. When we met the people, we realized this was going to be a cultural class, and we just basically walked away.
Right. So I'm sure the big question that all the fans of Sequential and Dave's Instruments and all the things that are going back in the past is, what's going to happen in the future? How involved is Dave going to stay? What are we going to see looking forward?
That's easy. My hobby is designing synths. That's what I do. That's what I love to do. I'm not all of a sudden going to go run off in an RV and tour the United States or start playing golf. I want to design synths. What I don't necessarily want to do is to continue running the company. And I'd rather have somebody else who knows how to do that better than I, because I'm an engineer. I'm not a business guy. I'm staying on. We've got an awesome new product coming out in July, August or so, maybe another one later this year. Nothing's changed. This week is just like it was last week at Sequential. We're still working on these new products, getting them ready to go into production, working on new products beyond that, lots of ideas. For me personally, I don't want to do anything else except design synths. And, we're still going to be building them in the same place in San Francisco. Basically, I know there's everybody's worried, oh, well, they're going to start building everything here and there. And they're going to, we're just going to keep doing what we do. But we have the advantage of going forward into the future. We have more options, so we can consider different ideas, different things that we just haven't been able to do because we're a small company. And we've been a small company by design, but now maybe we can, spread our wings a bit.
Right.
I think that's really important for people to know. Again, just on that last point, and I think if they had any concerns, I think we can. I can pretty much put the money where my mouth is. If you look at how Atom is run today versus how it was run when we bought, it's the same leadership team. It's the same people waking up and thinking about how to build the best reference monitor, and the same thing for the Martin team. And I think what was really interesting when we got to know Dave and the team, and we were looking at the roadmap, there was clearly no shortage of new products that were already in development and ideas. Which was great to hear, because, we want them to carry on and do what they do, which is make world-class synthesizers. And, Focusrite Innovation, our teams are innovating and they have a roadmap as well. So everybody's going to keep waking up and doing the same thing. But what was very clear was, I think, from some of the interactions with the engineering team was that, as we get to know each other more, there is definitely, and when we can travel again, I guess is another one, there's absolutely, between when you look at the skill set and where the expertise is with Dave and his team and where Novation is their team, there's a lot of things that resonate together that kind of make you think, boy, the sum of these two parts could come up with some really interesting things in the future.
Yeah, that was my next question for you, actually, is given that Novation is a part of the family as well, what we're going to see in the future there. And I know you haven't even reached the point where you have something specifically lined up yet, but that's a very exciting thing to think about.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to think about just shooting the shit and talking to these guys and seeing what comes out of it, because it can go a lot of different directions, and I don't know what those directions are. I'm just excited to explore them.
So you mentioned the products will still be made in San Francisco, still be made in your facility there or by your team?
Yes, that's the plan. We have now options to do other things, but we want our base products to just keep getting built the way they are now, assembled in San Francisco.
That was actually the one face-to-face interaction we had, is we coerced a couple of our LA guys to jump in a car and do a road trip up to the Bay Area. So they were actually able to meet Dave with social distancing, of course, and able to actually go see where everything is built, which was really nice on there. And again, this kind of goes right into the don't fix it if it ain't broke. It was great for a bunch of the guys to get their hands on it and actually just see firsthand the build quality and how much, obviously just love and sweat and tears goes into all the Sequential products. You sit down and you play the keyboards and you start turning some dials and you listen to the thing and it's just like, man.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Right. So Dave, you kind of casually mentioned there big new products coming out. Anything you can tell us? Any hints you can drop? Not a one.
You know how we operate, Mitch. Come on. We never say anything. You know, we give you guys a little bit of a head start, but we don't announce to the public until we're shipping.
Right.
If you pre-announce, nobody knows if it's a month or 3 months or 6 months, or because with some companies it could be 2 years. For that reason, we're not saying anything about the products. I think both of them, we're hoping to have 2 this year, again, 1 in the summer. And I think I think you're going to like it. I think everybody's going to like it, but I always say that. So it sounds good. It's cool. And that's about where I have to leave it. But, you know, again, July, maybe August, we should be getting that out the door.
Right. Well, I had to ask, right? I couldn't just.
Oh, yeah.
Well, of course you have to.
And I agree. I got to tell you, my time between Focusrite and Avid, we've always tried to adopt that policy. And I got to tell you, one of the big benefits on doing it over and beyond the stuff Dave says is it's really interesting to look at everybody and on all the different social media and stuff, guessing and hypothesizing what's coming out. And I got to tell you, sometimes the things they come out with, some of them are just absolutely crazy, but some of them are like, wow, we should actually think about doing that. So, you know, if you let the cat out of the bag too early, that all kind of stops. So, you know, keep coming to us with your
That's
crazy
true.
ideas, because there's probably some gold in there.
Right.
In that sense, this is good because I just gave out a huge hint that we're coming out with a product in July
Right.
or August. I should probably keep saying August just in case, because you never know with production, especially these days. Production is not simple anymore. But yeah, it's good to get people guessing. Some people will actually guess exactly what we're doing. Other times they'll be like way off. And it is kind of fun to see what people come up with, like Tim said. Just it could be interesting.
Well, again, congratulations to both of you and to your respective companies. I guess one company now, and we're just so excited to see what's coming down the pipe in the future.
Yeah, well, thanks. And thanks as always to Sweetwater. You guys are such an amazing partner. Not only we know for Sequential, but for Focusrite and Adam. And, you know, we can't thank you guys enough.
Awesome. Well, it's a great partnership, and likewise from our end as well.
No problem. My pleasure.
Our pleasure.
Take care. Thanks.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
And thank you for joining me here. I'm Mitch Gallagher from Sweetwater.